We know that before your prospects will have an open and honest dialogue with you about their problems and how you may be able to solve them, you have to build a rapport with them and start building trust. And you have to do this really quick, like in the first 30 seconds quick. And it has to be sustained trust, like for however many years you plan to work with them, kind of sustained. Trust is one of the most important attributes you can have in any relationship and in any business. And building trust is not easy. In fact, it takes years to build trust and only seconds to break it. Let's take a closer look at the 4 building blocks of trust and how we can use them to create productive relationships quickly and create them to last for years to come. The 4 building blocks of trust are social, visual, expertise, and genuine. Let's start with social trust. Research described in Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, Science and Practice, shows that people often look at their peers to help guide their decisions and their actions, especially in times of uncertainty. That's why social proof is such a strong indicator of trust. When your prospects know that other people similar to them have had positive response from working with you and your company, they are more likely to be open to working with you themselves. Of course, you still have to meet or exceed their expectations in order to continue to build trust, but with social trust, you can at least start the trust building process. Utilize this form of trust to quickly start building a relationship with your prospect by bringing testimonials and references with you to a sales meeting. Better yet, set up a date and time for your prospect to speak with a reference. The key here is to coordinate the meeting to make sure it actually does happen. Also, ask your marketing department if it's appropriate to include logos of companies that use your solution on your sales materials and your website. If you know some of the same people as your prospect, it's okay to mention the connection. But of course, you'll water down the opportunity to build trust if you're randomly dropping names just to try to prove yourself. First impressions are certainly a fast way to begin the trust building process and also to hinder it. Your prospect is going to decide if they want to build trust with you within the first 60 seconds of meeting you. This quick decision-making process is a survival mechanism that has been honed and developed in the human brain for years. And while our decision criteria has adapted to be more relevant to the current societal norms, we still use this format to decide if we initially trust someone or not. Of course, in situations where you'll have more than one chance to interact with a prospect, you can work to change a person's initial perspective of you. But all too often in sales, if we don't start building trust within our first meeting, there won't be a second meeting. So how do you use a first impression to spark the trust building process? Attire and grooming are important, but a first impression also includes getting to the meeting on time, knowing your prospect's name and other important information about them, even how you set the appointment. For example, your spelling and accuracy on the meeting invite that you send. Prospects are going to decide whether or not to be open to building trust with you from every interaction they have with you, even before that first meeting. One part of building trust through visuals is your attire. Dress sloppy, and people may think you don't pay attention to detail. Dress too nice relative to your industry, and people may think you're out of touch with your target audience. To help mitigate this process, we always suggest the 1+ rule. Dress just one level higher than the highest ranking person that'll be in your meeting. The organization and accuracy of your visual aids and other materials will also be evaluated by your prospects, as well as the condition and functionality of any of the technology that you'll be using in your presentation. So always, and I mean always, test run your technology before the meeting and have at least one backup plan. For example, when I'm presenting in the classroom or in a boardroom, I'll have my information available on a thumb drive, on the cloud, and will also email the information to myself as another backup. And in some cases, I'll even print a few handouts so I can have that if all else fails. Now that we've started the trust building process with our quick trust builders, let's dive into the sustaining or long-term trust builders. I'll see you in the next session.